After retirement, you have time, but a fixed income makes every dollar count. What if you could use that time to invest $25 to $40 in 5 simple minerals and never have to buy vegetables again? Soil improved forever. Produce self-sufficiency. Grocery bills nearly zero. Not a temporary trick, not expensive products, just soil science that big fertilizer companies don't want you to know. If you're tired of spending money on expensive fertilizers while your plants still struggle, if you wonder whether you're wasting money on things that don't actually work, this video will completely change how you think about soil. Because the problem isn't fertilizer. The problem is deep below where most gardeners can't even see. In the next 13 minutes, you'll discover 5 science-backed soil amendments. They solve the real problems, not surface symptoms. No expensive equipment, no complicated chemistry. Apply just once. Benefits last years, even centuries. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly where to buy them, how to use them, and how much money you'll save. Let's begin. But before we dive into these 5 miracle music minerals, let me tell you a truth that few people mention. If you're serious about improving your garden without wasting more money on useless products, hit subscribe right now, because what I'm about to share goes completely against what the fertilizer industry has been teaching you for years. Here's what most gardeners get wrong. They think soil is just dirt, something that holds plants upright. Wrong. Healthy soil isn't dirt. It's a living ecosystem, a microscopic universe right beneath your feet. And like the human body, soil needs 4 components working together. 1. Structure, the physical architecture of soil. If structure collapses, everything else collapses too. 2. Biology, billions of microorganisms living in it. Without them, your plants are just zombies. 3. Chemistry, the balance of nutrients and pH. Off by just a bit, plants can't absorb anything. And 4. Physics, how water and air move through it. If roots can't breathe, they suffocate. When even one of these 4 components breaks down, your plants suffer. You can water perfectly. You can provide ideal sunlight. You can use the most expensive fertilizer. But if the soil is broken, all of it is meaningless. Here's what the fertilizer industry wants you focused on. NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Those 3 matter, right? Yes. But they're only 3 of the 17 essential nutrients plants need. And here's what they don't tell you. If your soil structure is broken, if the biology in your soil is dead, if the physics don't allow water and air to flow through, then no matter how much NPK fertilizer you pour in, your plants still can't access those nutrients. Imagine this. You have a refrigerator full of food, but the refrigerator door is locked tight. You're standing outside hungry, looking in, but you can't get anything out. That's exactly what's happening to your plants. The 5 amendments we're about to discuss, they're not the key. They're the locksmith. They fix the foundational problems that fertilizer never touches. And once you fix the foundation, everything else naturally works better. The first amendment, and the most overlooked one, biochar. And no, this is not the same as charcoal from your grill. This is something completely different. Biochar is created through a process called pyrolysis. Sounds complicated, it's actually very simple. You take organic material like wood, bamboo, or rice hulls and heat it in a low oxygen environment, not burning it completely, just burning it enough. The result, an extremely porous carbon structure. It functions like a sponge at the microscopic level. And here's why this is huge. 1 gram of biochar, just a tiny pinch like this, has a surface area of up to 500 square meters. Wait, 500 square meters? That's right. That's the size of 2 tennis courts compressed into this tiny pinch of material. Can you imagine 2 tennis courts in the palm of your hand? This massive surface area does three things simultaneously. First, housing for beneficial microbes. You know those tiny bacteria, fungi, and microorganisms living in soil? They're the real workers in your garden. They break down organic matter, release nutrients, and make it possible for plant roots to absorb them. Music. But without biochar, they have no home. They wander around, unable to colonize effectively. Biochar gives them millions of tiny rooms to live in, like a massive apartment building for microorganisms. Second, it holds water and nutrients. The pores in biochar work like thousands of tiny reservoirs. Music. When it rains heavily, biochar absorbs water and nutrients. When it's dry, biochar slowly releases them, meaning nutrients don't wash away in heavy rain. Plants don't get thirsty when you forget to water. Third, it improves soil structure. Biochar creates air pockets in soil, preventing soil from getting compacted and dense. Why does this matter? Because plant roots need oxygen as much as they need water. Compacted soil equals roots getting suffocated. Loose soil equals roots breathing freely, growing strong. And here's the unbelievable part. You only need to do this once. Because biochar lasts for decades, even centuries. Don't believe me? Listen to this story. In the Amazon rainforest, there are special patches of soil called terra preta, black earth. Indigenous peoples enriched these soils with biochar more than 2,000 years ago. 2,000 years before electricity, before cars, before America was even called America. And guess what? Those soils are still incredibly fertile today. Brazilian farmers are still harvesting from a decision someone made 2,000 years ago. This is a one-time investment, permanent benefits, even benefits for your grandchildren. Application is extremely simple. Mix 10% biochar by volume into the top 6 inches of soil. Sounds complicated? It's not. Example, for every 10 gallons of soil, add 1 gallon of biochar, or 10 buckets of soil, add 1 bucket of biochar. Easy, right? And remember, you only do this once. Biochar will be there for decades, music even your entire lifetime. About cost. A 15-pound bag of biochar typically runs about $25 to $35. Depends where you buy. And 15 pounds covers roughly 50 to 75 square feet of garden. That works out to about 35 to 70 cents per square foot for a permanent soil improvement. Where to buy? Local garden supply or farm supply stores. Ask for biochar or agricultural charcoal. Online, Amazon, Home Depot, specialty organic suppliers. Search biochar or make your own if you have the right setup. We can make a separate video about DIY biochar. One tip, choose biochar from hardwood or rice hulls if possible. These are common sources and good quality, but biochar is just the first step. The Second Amendment solves a problem that 60% of gardeners don't even know they have. If you've got heavy clay soil, this will be a complete game changer. The Second Amendment, gypsum, also called calcium sulfate. This solves a problem that most gardeners don't even realize exists until it's too late. Do you have heavy clay soil? If you do, you know the struggle. When dry, soil is hard as concrete. You take your shovel to dig, the shovel bounces back. When wet, soil turns into sticky mud, sticks to your boots, sticks to your tools, and worse, suffocates plant roots. Roots can't breathe. Water doesn't drain. Plants suffocate. This is not your fault. This is the fault of clay particle structure. Clay particles are flat and extremely tiny. Imagine thousands of paper plates stacked on top of each other, tight, no gaps. That's exactly clay structure. No space for air, no space for water movement. Just layers of particles pressed tightly together. And here's the terrible thing. The more you try to work clay soil, the more you walk on it, the more compacted it gets. You're accidentally sabotaging yourself. And this is where gypsum creates magic. Gypsum contains calcium ions. These ions are like tiny magnets. When you mix gypsum into clay soil, calcium ions bind to clay particles and cause them to clump together into larger aggregates. This process has a scientific name, flocculation, but you just need to remember this. Small particles clump into large clusters equals space in between equals air, and water can flow freely. The transformation is remarkable. Soil that used to crack in summer becomes loose, easy to work. Soil that used to waterlog in spring drains naturally. Plant roots that couldn't budge push through easily, grow deep. This is not a small improvement. This is complete transformation. And here's what's special. Gypsum provides the calcium your soil needs without changing pH. Why does this matter? Many other calcium sources like lime make soil more alkaline. If your soil is already alkaline or neutral, adding lime equals creating a new problem. But gypsum provides calcium plus improved structure while leaving pH completely alone. This is the safe solution for any soil type. How to apply? Dosage depends on soil test results, but general guideline is about 40 pounds per 1,000 square feet. Work it into the top 6 inches of soil. You'll see structure improvement within a few weeks. As rain and irrigation help gypsum penetrate, soil starts to breathe, starts to live, and this music time it lasts. About cost, and this is where I want to be completely transparent with you. A 40-pound bag of gypsum typically ranges in most areas from $12 to $18. In remote rural areas, it could go up to $20 to $25. Why the difference? Because of shipping costs. Gypsum is fairly heavy. The farther from manufacturing, the more expensive. That 40-pound bag covers about 1,000 square feet. That works out to about 1 to 2 cents per square foot. Compared to long-lasting effects and permanent structural improvement, this is still one of the most cost-effective investments. Where to buy? Local farm supply or garden centers. Ask for agricultural gypsum or garden gypsum. Agricultural co-ops are usually cheaper because they buy in bulk. Online, Amazon, Home Depot, Lowe's. Search for agricultural gypsum or garden gypsum. Pro tip: buy seasonally after harvest season, often discounted 20 to 30%. And if you buy with gardening neighbors, split a large bag. Music equals much more savings. Gypsum fixes structure. Biochar creates homes for microbes. But if your soil lacks basic nutrition, music, the next 2 amendments solve this. And this is where things get really interesting. The 3rd amendment, green sand. And this is where we start solving a problem that most gardeners completely overlook. Trace mineral deficiency. Green sand is a naturally occurring mineral with the scientific name glauconite, formed from ancient ocean sediments. Millions of years ago, when oceans covered what is now dry land, minerals settled and compressed. The result? A nutritional treasure from the ancient ocean. Green sand is rich in iron, potassium, magnesium, and more than 30 other trace minerals. Trace minerals that plants need in tiny amounts but cannot survive without. Here's the problem with modern NPK fertilizers. They only focus on 3 macronutrients: nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. Are these 3 important? Of course, but plants also need 14 other nutrients, especially micronutrients like iron. No iron? Leaves turn yellow. No chlorophyll. Magnesium. No magnesium? Photosynthesis shuts down. Plants starve for energy. Manganese. No manganese? Enzymes don't function. Growth stunted. Zinc. No zinc? Growth hormones aren't synthesized. Plants stay small. And here's the worst part. You can have perfect NPK. You can fertilize on schedule. You can do everything right, but if you're missing just 1 micronutrient, yellow leaves, slow growth, poor fruit development, weak plants, easy disease. even when everything else is perfect. See the problem? NPK fertilizer only solves 3 out of 17 problems, but it's sold as a complete solution. That's why you're still frustrated. Green sand releases minerals slowly over many years, not weeks, not months, but 3 to 5 years. What does this mean? You're not just feeding this season's plants, you're building long-term soil fertility. As green sand particles slowly break down in soil, they also improve structure. Sandy soil, green sand helps retain moisture better. Clay soil, green sand helps drainage better. One stone, 2 birds. And here's the most important part. Green sand works best when soil biology is active. Remember biochar we talked about earlier? Biochar creates homes for microbes. Those microbes help break down green sand, making nutrients available to plants. That's why combining biochar plus green sand creates synergistic effects. 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2, it equals 5. How to apply? 50 to 100 pounds per 1,000 square feet. Mix into the top 6 inches of soil. And because it's slow release, apply once, effective for 3 to 5 years. About cost, green sand is rarer than gypsum, so slightly more expensive. A 50-pound bag, $20 to $35 depending on supplier, covers about 500 to 1,000 square feet. That works out to about 2 to 7 cents per square foot. But remember, effective for 3 to 5 years. Actually less than 1 to 2 cents per square foot per year when calculated annually. Extremely economical for flourishing value. Where to buy? Specialty organic garden centers, not regular stores. Online, Amazon, Planet Natural, Arbico Organics. Search for green sand or glauconite. Bulk organic suppliers imported from specialized mines, usually East Coast sources. Note, green sand has a dark green color. If the product isn't green, it's not real green sand. The Fourth Amendment, Azomite, stands for A to Z of minerals, including trace elements. The name says it all. If green sand provides broad-spectrum minerals, Azomite fills in the gaps with ultra-trace elements that most soil tests don't even measure. Azomite is volcanic ash, contains more than 70 naturally occurring minerals in elemental form. 70 minerals created by a volcanic eruption millions of years ago in Utah. Nature took millions of years to create it. You only need 5 minutes to apply it. These ultra-trace elements like selenium, molybdenum, cobalt, boron, needed in extremely small amounts, but their absence creates serious problems. Boron deficiency. The broccoli story. Margaret in Colorado grew broccoli, did everything right, full NPK. But at harvest, hollow stems, entire season's crop thrown away. The cause, boron deficiency. Cost to fix, $10 of Azomite. Loss, $500 gone. Molybdenum deficiency, the pea story. John in Oregon grew snap peas. Plenty of nitrogen, rich soil, but pea plants still yellow, still weak. Why? Because molybdenum is the key for legumes to fix nitrogen from air. No molybdenum, even nitrogen-rich soil can't support healthy pea growth. Like having money in a safe but forgetting the combination. Selenium deficiency. The immune system story. Linda in California, her tomatoes constantly got diseases, spraying pesticides endlessly. Pesticide costs $50 per month until an expert said, "Your plants have weak immune systems from selenium deficiency." Supplementing selenium through Azomite. Plants healthier, fewer diseases. Pesticide costs dropped 70%. Do you see the common pattern? Problems costing hundreds of dollars solved with just $10 to $20 of Azomite. But nobody tells you about this because who profits from cheap solutions? The power of Azomite lies in its completeness. Instead of diagnosing each specific deficiency, buying each supplement separately, calculating each complex dosage, Azomite provides the complete spectrum in balanced proportions that nature created through volcanic activity millions of years ago. This is nature's formula, not man-made, and nature is rarely wrong. Application is extremely simple. 5 to 10 pounds per 1,000 square feet. Mix into top few inches of soil. Because particles are extremely fine, they start releasing minerals almost immediately, fully available within one growing season. About cost: a 44-pound bag, $25 to $35 from Utah mines, covers 4,400 to 8,800 square feet. That works out to less than 1 cent per square foot for complete mineral supplementation. Where to buy? Specialty organic shops, rare but highest quality online. Amazon is most common. Search Azomite. Check seller ratings above 4.5 stars. Reviews with photos. Garden supply chains sometimes carry it. Bulk organic suppliers for larger quantities. Tip: Azomite pairs especially well with organic matter amendments because organic acids help break down mineral particles faster. That's why we're going to talk about worm castings next. The fifth amendment, and the most important one, worm castings. This is where biology meets chemistry in the most powerful way. Worm castings are worm manure. I know doesn't sound appealing, but calling them manure seriously undervalues them because worm castings aren't just waste. They're biological magic. Worm castings are the result of organic matter passing through the miraculous digestive system of earthworms. In that journey, organic matter is broken down completely, enriched with beneficial bacteria, supplemented with digestive enzymes, enhanced with plant growth hormones. The nutritional profile. Worm castings contain 5 times more nitrogen than regular soil, 7 times more phosphorus, 11 times more potassium. 11 times, can you imagine? But here's what's important. The real power of worm castings isn't in the NPK numbers, it's in the biology. Every gram of worm castings, just a tiny pinch like this, contains billions of beneficial microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, protozoa, living enzymes, and they continue working in your soil long after you apply the castings. What do these microorganisms do? First, break down organic matter. Turn dry leaves, dead grass into available nutrients. Without them, leaves just sit there for months, not decomposing. Second, suppress soil-borne diseases. Outcompete harmful fungi. Produce natural antibiotics. Protect plant roots like a mini army. Third, form symbiotic relationships with plant roots called mycorrhizal association. Fungi attached to roots expanding root reach by 100 times, improve nutrient uptake by up to 40%. 40%. That means same amount of fertilizer, plants absorb twice as effectively. This isn't fertilizer, this is a system upgrade. And there's more. Worm castings contain humic acid, improves soil structure, increases water retention, helps plants absorb nutrients more efficiently. They have neutral pH, won't disrupt soil balance, and cannot over-apply. Unlike synthetic fertilizers that can burn plants, worm castings only help, never harm. The more you use, the better. Application dosage is extremely flexible. For new beds, mix 20 to 30% worm castings with existing soil. Example, 10 buckets of soil plus 2 to 3 buckets of castings. For established beds, top dress with a 1/2 inch to 1 inch layer annually. Plants will naturally pull nutrients down. For container plants, use 10 to 20% in potting mix. A 5-gallon pot equals 1/2 to 1 gallon of castings. Worm casting tea. Soak 1 cup of castings in 5 gallons of water, 24 hours. Water directly at the base. Instant liquid nutrition. About cost. A 15-pound bag of quality worm castings is $25 to $35. More expensive than other amendments, yes, but the biological activity is completely worth it. And here's the best part. You can make worm castings for free. A basic worm bin costs $40 to $100. Feed worms your kitchen scraps, vegetable peels, coffee grounds, crushed eggshells, shredded paper. Each month, harvest 2 to 4 pounds of castings. Each year, 25 to 50 pounds of castings free. Value $40 to $85 per year from a $40 to $100 initial investment. ROI payback in 6 to 12 months. After that, pure profit annually. This is how you turn kitchen waste into black gold for your garden. And the worms, they do all the work. You just feed them 10 minutes per week. Now, here's what's really powerful. These 5 amendments we just discussed, they don't just work well individually. They work in synergy with each other. Let's review. Biochar provides porous structure, creates homes for microbes, lasts forever. Gypsum fixes heavy clay soil, creates space for air and water, provides calcium without changing pH. Green sand provides 30-plus trace minerals, releases slowly over 3 to 5 years, improves soil structure. Azomite provides 70-plus minerals complete, fills every nutritional gap, available immediately within 1 season. Snorts. Worm castings brings living biology, makes everything else work better, increases nutrient uptake 40%. See how it works? Together they solve structure, biochar plus gypsum. Chemistry, green sand plus azomite. Biology, worm castings. The 3 foundations of healthy soil. And when you combine them all, biochar creates the house. Worm castings bring in the residents. Gypsum opens the doors, water and air flow. Green sand plus azomite provide the food. Plants thrive. This isn't 5 separate products. This is one complete system. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 doesn't equal 5. It equals 25. This approach goes completely against what the fertilizer industry wants you to believe. They want you to buy the same products continuously every season, every month, forever. They profit from your dependence. But when you fix the foundational problems in your soil, you break that cycle. You spend less over time. You grow more each year. You build soil that gets better, not degraded. This isn't buying products. This is investing in an asset, and that asset increases in value every year. Here is your specific action plan. Step 1. Soil test. Not required, but recommended. Cost $15 to $30 where? County Extension Office or University Ag Program or Home Soil Test Kit around $10 to $15. You'll learn pH, NPK, soil texture. Step 2. Prioritize by your biggest problem. Heavy clay soil, hard and compacted. Start with gypsum. Fix structure first, nutrition later. Lifeless soil, compacted, not loose. Biochar is priority number 1. Create foundation for everything else. Plants showing deficiency signs, yellow leaves, slow growth. Add green sand plus azomite, address trace mineral shortage. Dead soil, no biology. Worm castings are the lifesaver. Bring life back. Not sure what the problem is? Apply all 5 in this order. 1. Gypsum if clay soil. 2. Biochar. 3. Worm castings. 4. Green sand plus azomite. Whatever the situation, worm castings should always be included because they make everything else work better. Total investment for all 5 amendments for a 1,000 square foot garden. Biochar 15 lb $30. Gypsum 40 lb $15. Green sand 50 lb $30. Azomite 44 lb $30. Worm castings $15 to $30. Total about $135 to $140. Sounds like a lot? Compare this to synthetic fertilizer for a 1,000 square foot garden. $5 to $25 every month, $180 to $300 every year, and you have to buy again forever. While these amendments, biochar lasts forever. Gypsum long-lasting effects. Green sand 3 to 5 years. Azomite 2 to 3 years. Worm castings can make free. Year 1, spend $135 to $140. Year 2 onward, only need to replenish worm castings about $25 to $30 per year, or make free. Compared to fertilizer, $180 to $300 every year forever. This isn't a cost. This is an investment in your asset. An asset that increases in value every year, not decreases. If this video changed how you think about soil and gardening, hit that like button right now. And if you know someone, a friend, a neighbor, family, struggling with their garden, disappointed harvests, share this video with them. You could be the person who changes their entire growing season, even changes years of their gardening. That's a priceless gift, and it costs nothing. Just one click. Remember what you just learned. Biochar, permanent foundation for soil. Gypsum liberates heavy clay soil. Green sand, 30+ trace minerals over 3 to 5 years. Azomite, 70+ complete minerals. Worm castings, living biology makes everything better. These 5 don't replace fertilizer. They build your soil from the foundation. One-time investment done right equals many years of benefits. And if you want more detailed guidance, specific for your region, for your crops, we're preparing a video series guided by climate zones across America. Specific crops, leafy greens, tomatoes, peppers, solving your specific problems. Next video, how to test your soil at home for just $10. Don't want to miss it? Subscribe to the channel right now, because we're not just making videos, we're building a community. A community of gardeners over 50. People who understand that age isn't a barrier, it's an advantage. You have time, you have life experience, you have patience, and now you have knowledge. We share no temporary tricks, no scam products, no empty promises, only proven methods, real science, real results. So you grow better every year. Not just this season, but every season. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and let us walk alongside you on the journey to transform your small garden into a source of food, health, and joy for you and your family. See you in the next video. Happy gardening.